Today, we're going to be talking about bourbons that are overrated. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today we're talking overrated bottles. There are a few different meanings of what overrated means, so I wanted to give you my definition before we dive into this. So overrated does not mean that these bottles are bad. In fact, I think only two of these I would say are bad, and even that's kind of stretching it with one of them. But these are bottles that just had either a lot of hype built up before or after their release, or just are ethereal bottles that people always chase that are just not worth the money, even at retail in some cases. So let's go ahead and dive into it with number one. These are in no particular order. First one up here was introduced by Bruzel, at least to me introduced by Bruzel. I know that obviously they've been around for a while. I tried them based on a recommendation of Bruzel and my buddy Brandon, and I did not like it then. I don't like it now. I think Ben Holiday is some of the most overrated bourbon out there. I still see people like get really excited when a store will have like a Ben Holiday store pick or a Ben Holiday whatever. I don't get the hype. I just don't get it. It's just okay. There is nothing wrong with Ben Holiday. It is perfectly fine bourbon. If I was at someone's house and they poured me a pour of this, I would be fine with it. It smells great. It tastes okay. The hype is what I don't quite understand with the Ben Holiday. I don't get the love. There's nothing in here to me that is like special. It is just perfectly average bourbon, and I don't think that there's a problem with that, to be perfectly honest with you. There should be just middle of the road bourbons. That's totally fine. But to me, that's just all this is just a middle of the road, pretty average bourbon. Moving on to the next one. A few of these I'm going to get some hate for, and this is probably one of them, but I think this is one of the most overrated bottles that I have ever seen in my existence, in my following of bourbon. I don't understand it. I don't gravitate towards this brand in general anyway. Maybe that's a part of it, but I have had a few of them that I thought were pretty good. But this one is another one where I don't go like, it's bad. It's just absolutely not worth the hype that it was given when it came out. And I'm talking about Elijah Craig C923. I will never understand why everyone flipped out for this. People were calling this bottle of the year when it came out in 2023, flipping out. You couldn't find one. I got one of these at my Barrel Picks bottle share we did. Buddy Joey handed it to me. He was like, here, if you want one, I've wanted one because I know people want to try it. And I hate not having things that people want to try when they come over. And this was one of those ones. Like, the nose on it is great. And I think, 13-year age statement is pretty awesome that they were willing to do something that old in one of these. But like, bottle of the year, really? It's not that good. It's drying. It drinks way hotter than 133 proof. I think a lot of people fell in love with the age statement on this one, and I understand that can happen sometimes. There's another bottle on this list that I feel the same thing happened with, but this one's just not that good. Like, it's fine. It's a really good Elijah Craig barrel proof, but the hype that was built up around this thing, absolutely not. Like, I will never understand it. I think it's fine. It's not the greatest thing that they've ever made. Like, that's nuts. Moving on to the next one. All right, another one here for me that this is one of the ones that I do think is like not great. I don't understand why they can't figure out how to do a special release. If anyone's seeing this video, you're not surprised. This is the Maker's Mark 2024 Cellar Aged. I don't get it. I don't get the love. I know people say it's... I've had people... Every time I bring this bottle up, people say this is the best bourbon that they've ever had. And to that I say, this is not me being facetious. Like, I genuinely think that's great that you found something that you love that much. My follow-up question would be, how many bourbons have you tasted? Because this one to me, and bourbon is subjective, 100%. So if you love it, I am not shitting on you by any stretch. But I just would find it odd if someone tasted this and thought it tasted perfect. I just don't understand it. I will not be buying another one of these. This is 2 in a row that I've had from them, and the 3rd special release in a row that has just completely disappointed me. So I will not be buying any more of the Maker's Mark stuff until I try it. If I try it at a bar or a buddy's house and I really like it, then fine, I'll find one. After the Heart release, after this one, and after the years previous to 2023 Cellar Aged, I just can't do it anymore. I'm tapped out with Maker's Mark. They've burned me one too many times. I don't know. It just bothers me. And I wish that they could do something that transform the distillery the way the Jack 10 and 12 and 14 did for Jack Daniels, because they're fully capable of making incredible bourbon. You have something that's a 12 and 13-year-old blend, and that isn't good. Like, that's just weird to me. Like, that's the sweet spot for bourbons. 12, 13 years, that's especially wheated stuff. That's what you want. So I don't know. It's just very strange to me. But yeah, this one breaks my heart every day, because I really was hoping that this would be the one that like turns me around and gets me into being a Makers fan, and it did the exact opposite. Moving on to the next one. All right, this one here comes off of the back of them raising the MSRP MSRP for this bottle. I think it is criminal that they decided to raise this bottle from $40 MSRP to $80 MSRP. I probably will not be buying another one at MSRP, but I am talking, of course, of Elmer T. Lee. Buffalo Trace's decision to raise that to $80 is wild. This is all day, every day, a $40 bottle. There's nothing special about this outside of it being a single barrel. It is totally fine bourbon. There's nothing wrong with Elmer T. Lee, but this is not an $80 bottle, period. It's just not. Even with it being a single barrel. This is another one for me, like, kind of like the Ben Holiday, where it's like, it's just straight down the middle bourbon. It's just average. It is just an average bourbon. When I first tried this, I really, really liked it. And I've gone back to it a few times. I've had a few bottles of it now at this point. And it's fine. Like, this would be a great mixer. Like, for real. This would be a great mixer. If these were readily available and they were still $40, this would be an incredible bottle to mix with. I mean, these were made to mix with Sprite. Like, that's what Elmer T. Lee did. He mixed it with Sprite. So, like, these are not supposed to be these highly allocated, sought after bottles. Like, that's why it was $40. So it just became that. But still, all that being said, there is that hype. There is that, like, unattainableness of this bottle. And for that, it's overrated. This is an overrated bottle. It's just fine. If you're buying this to finish your collection, I totally understand, and God bless you. If you're buying this to drink for $80, you're going to be disappointed. Go get a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Go get it for half the price. You can go get a Jack Daniel's single barrel of like the 95 or whatever proof. I forget what they bottle. I actually don't have one on the shelf right now. Whatever they bottle their regular single barrels at is better than this for the price. Like, go do one of those. Go do almost anything else for $80 is going to be better than this. Moving on to the next one. This one is hard for me because I really do love this bottle. I love it a lot. It's one of my go-tos. One of my favorite bottles under $35-$40. But I gotta say, I do think it is an overrated bottle because there is a lot of hype. And in some places, these are still allocated and really hard to find. That's not the case in Orlando anymore. You can kind of find these, not every day, but most days you can find one of these on a shelf somewhere for around $30-$40. They really should be $25 to $30. I think they raised them from $25 to $30. I'm talking about regular old plain Jane Buffalo Trace. Now, the reason that I chose this bottle, despite loving it, is because the hype behind Buffalo Trace in general is crazy. I think people have unreal expectations for what a $25 bottle of bourbon should taste like, which then causes unreal expectations on every other bottle that they release that's $30. You have to keep in mind that it is a good bottle for $30. If you bought this at the peak of when Buffalo Trace was popping off and you paid $85, $90 for this for like a store pick or something, you're going to be very disappointed. It is all day a $30 bottle. This should have never been as hyped up as it was. Probably one of my go-to daily drinkers. I don't use the term daily drinker. One of my go-to bourbons. I drink it all the time. I love Standard Buffalo Trace. I keep one or two on hand at all time. I love it. So I'm not shitting on Buffalo Trace at all. But I think it is overrated. I think people just can't accept the fact when they taste this that it is almost like any of the other shelfers in that price range. And it just bums people out. So for that reason, it is an overrated bottle. Moving on to the next one. This one, good Lord. I bought this one for way more than I should have. And I've forgotten about the story of how I got this bottle. Talk about Henry McKenna tenure. There was a store called Nightly Liquor in Orlando that I used to do a lot of shopping at. It was like less than a quarter mile from my house. So I used to go there all the time. They had a sister location that had these one day. And this was during the prime when McKenna was like hard to find. Now it literally sits on the shelves at Targets here. This is like the definition of overrated bourbon. I ended up paying like $95 for this, which is crazy. I would never do that in a million years. Now, I ended up paying that for it. I got home and I have literally, this is all I've ever had out of this. And I used this as a mixer at one point to make cocktails. This one has a very minty taste to it. And it doesn't work. And I like mint, but it just, and bourbon. I love mint juleps, but it just doesn't work in this. And it's really bad. I have had a few of them. I've only ever had one that I thought was actually pretty good. And I got it over the weekend with my buddy Matt. It was it was at the Whiskey in Orlando. But that was still just okay. I see it sometimes. People will go like, I love Henry McKenna. And I don't understand it. These were so hard to find and so expensive and like so sought after for such a long time. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get it. Heaven Hill makes great stuff. And so I don't know what happened here. It's just not for me. They are single barrel, but again, I've had multiple of these that were from different barrels. I just don't get it. And I think it is one of the most overhyped bottles that I've ever personally purchased and had high expectations for. Moving on to the next one. But before we get any further into this video, we need to thank today's sponsor, me. This episode is brought to you by my Patreon. If you like the videos that you see here over on YouTube, there is a cool little community over on Patreon. We have 2 tiers available currently right now. The other ones are sold out. We have a $5 tier, which will give you access to 2 extra videos for Patreon and 2 audio exclusive episodes of the podcast each month. You also get early access to the videos that I do post. Basically, I'm a one-man team. So basically, when I post a video, it goes to Patreon almost immediately. There's also a $10 tier, which gets you everything that the first tier does, plus access first to barrel picks. You get to dictate the videos you want to see. There are polls. There's a lot of fun over there. If you are so inclined and you like this channel and you'd like to support a smaller content creator, head on over to the link in the description. You can check out the Patreon. Thank you guys for watching, and back to the video. The only other bottle that could be outdone by Henry McKenna by hype and expectations and presence in media, because I actually could do a video, and I might, of how many times this bottle has shown up in popular culture. I'm talking about Blaes. This is regular Blaes. I don't know how it happened. I really don't. And again, I like Blaes a lot. I keep one at all times. It's one of those bottles that, like, if you have friends who aren't into bourbon, still know about Blaes because of the popularity of it. They still know it because of, it's John Wick's favorite bourbon. People just know Blaes. It's just one of the brands that people know. So it's cool to have it on hand for those kind of situations. And the problem is that, like, Blaes is solid for like $60. Then the same thing happened with the Elmer, where expectations are just blown up so out of proportion that you can't reasonably attain those expectations. And then you get people disappointed. And it's like, well, you spent $200 on something that should have been $65. So that's a huge difference in price. You're going to be disappointed. I think people really had weird expectations for this bottle. I don't think it's fair for this to get this much divisiveness and hate, because it is a solid bottle. It's solid for $70. It's not solid for $250. Get people spending more money. They're going to have higher expectations. When those higher expectations are not met, you're going to disappoint people who won't buy your product again. And I think you're starting to kind of see that a little bit with Blaes, because people overpaid for a long time, and now that it's kind of available, people are not willing to go back to it. It's still a good bottle, and I like it, but I just think it is one of the most overrated, if not the most overrated bottle that I've ever had. Moving on to the next one. Final one here. This one breaks my heart. You probably know it's coming if you watch these videos. You know I'm not a huge fan of this bottle. I wish I was. My opinion of it has softened over the last few months, but I still stand by that the 12 is better. I'm talking about Jack Daniel's 14. Now, this is going to be sacrilegious to some people. That's fine. I think the 12 is like leaps and bounds better. Leaps and bounds. I don't think it's close. I don't think that the 14 can even come close to how good the 12 is. I was very disappointed in this when I first tried it. It is not bad, but for me personally, this one to me, it was on my radar from the moment they announced it. I was so excited to try it. I was so excited to get my hands on this thing. I wanted it so badly. I was so disappointed, and the hype was so real by the time I got to it. People were saying this is the best whiskey ever made. I do not understand it. No one wanted to like this more than me, so I'm a Jack Daniel's fanboy. I have every single batch of 10 and 12 and 14, multiples of each, Coy Hills, a bunch of special stuff. I'm a big Jack fan, so this one really, really broke my heart. But what can you do except be honest? So comment down below. Let me know what your most overrated bourbons are. While you're down there, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.